Okay.
Okay, Milka, good luck.
Thank you.
Hello and welcome. Good afternoon, good evening, and good day to everyone who turned up today and is participating in our University of Roehampton, London Online Meet Our Students series. And we have a wonderful student on our MBA program today, Miss Milka Soethout, who resides in Dubai. So thank you very much. We're just going to go through the agenda today. Let's have a look at that. So we're going to ask Milka first, why did Milka choose to study online? We're going to ask, who are your students, and the students that Milka encountered on the program, and the access to the network that Milka's had at Roehampton. A little discussion about the instructor and the faculty that Milka's met on the course. How our students study online. Obviously, that's a bit different from campus education. And the next steps for those of you who are looking to join our next intake and need to know what to do and who to contact. So without any further ado, let's meet our guest speaker today, Milka Soethout. Hi, Milka. How are you?
Hi, Joe. How are you?
I'm really, really well. Can you just tell our participants today just a bit about your background, what module you're in, and what you do for a living, where you live?
Okay. Right. I'll say my name is Milka. I'm currently residing in Dubai. I'm from Kenya. Working with Emirates Airlines as a reservations manager.
Lovely.
I've been working with the airline for the last 6 years now.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's quite a long time, and you've been living in Dubai for that whole period. Are you staying there as a resident? Is that your home now?
I consider this my home. I mean, this is where I reside. I'm a mother of three. I just didn't mention that. I'm a mother of three, married and in Dubai. So this is home for me for the last 11 plus years. Yeah, so I consider this home.
Lovely. So today, for all of our audience, some of you may have never attended one of our webcasts at the University of Roehampton Online. We have a lovely opportunity today to get a bit interactive with our presentation, and that takes two forms. We have Hugo, who's in the back office, who's ready to take all your questions and funnel them through to Milka. So anything that occurs today, something that you have an aha moment, you need a question answered, please send those questions through the box. You'll see it on the left. Ask a question in the blue bar. Also, we do have a poll question, which will be multiple choice. So we're really looking for you to participate today. You'll get out of it exactly what you put into it. So thank you very much, and let's hope we have a really interactive session today. Milka, if we're going to start, can we look into what your motivation was to join the course? Why did you choose to study online with Roehampton? What was your initial motivation? Hello? I think we've lost Milka there. If you just bear with me, we'll try to get Milka back in. Hey Milka, we lost you there. Are you okay?
Hello?
Hello Milka, can you hear me?
Yes. Sorry, got disconnected there.
No problem at all. This is, we're going across the world. There's people all across the world and telephone networks all across the world, cables running, so there's no problem there. We'll just get back to the presentation. I was just going to ask you, why did you choose to study online at Roehampton? What was your initial motivation?
I've actually only wanted to pursue my MBA. And of course, I do know about University of Roehampton.
So do you remember your initial motivation statement that you wrote? And
Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
Hello?
I was just experiencing
Sorry, got disconnected there.
we're just expecting some technical problems with the line. Just bear with us and we'll see if we can get Milka back. Just bear with us.
Mm-hmm.
Milka, are you there?
I've actually only wanted to pursue my MBA, and of course, I do know about University of Roehampton.
Hello?
Hello?
Okay, just bear with us.
Hello? Hello? Yes, sorry, got disconnected there.
Sorry everyone, there's a...
I've actually wanted to pursue my MBA, and of course, I do know about University of Roehampton. Hello? 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 Yes, sorry, got disconnected there. Mm-hmm. I've actually only wanted to pursue my MBA, and of course, I do know about University of Roehampton. Hello? Hello? Hello?
Hello? Hello?
Hello? Hello?
Hi,
Hello?
Milka, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. So we're going to get back to the presentation now. We do apologize for the delay. Sometimes this happens with our phone lines. Around the world, it's very difficult. So in terms of your motivation, Milka, why did you choose to study online with Roehampton? What was your motivation initially?
Okay, great. As I said, at first, obviously, I really wanted to pursue an MBA, and Roehampton was not one of my choices, of course, because I didn't know about Roehampton, of course.
Okay.
I definitely knew that I did not want classroom setting kind of lectures, because obviously, as I said, I'm a mother of 3, and I'm a working mom. I'm very busy, so I needed something that gave me, that kind of flexibility. And, one day, a friend of mine talked to me about Roehampton, and actually it was a recommendation for me. And 4 things appealed to me. It's the flexibility they offered, the module calendar, which was, stretched enough for me to accommodate myself. And of course, things like the tuition and the settlement cycle appealed with my personal financial management, and it was accredited. So that was important, very important. Yeah.
Well, yes, I mean, a lot of our students will be looking for many of the things that you've mentioned there, the kind of flexibility, a bit of convenience, and also, payment plans are important. It's a financial undertaking to go and do, a degree, whether it's on campus or online, and so you need to prepare and get your finances in order, and no different at the University of Roehampton, and we're very glad to offer, some very straightforward plans for that. So thank you very much, Milka. We've got a few polls today, and one of the polls that we have is going to ask people about what their experience is of online learning. So what we're going to ask all of our students is to hopefully go onto the box, and you're going to have to click one of the multiple choice questions, depending on how much experience you have. Milka, did you have any experience of studying online before you studied at Roehampton?
Absolutely not. I had no experience whatsoever, so it was a leap of faith for me. Yeah. Yes.
And I'm sure you're glad you made the leap, I'm sure. So we have a question: how much experience do you have with online learning? So Milka didn't have any experience and she took the leap, but many of you might have a bit of experience, MOOCs and so on. You can answer A, yes, I've studied online before and I'm experienced. B, you can answer, I have a bit of experience studying online. I've done an online training course prior to this master's education. Or no, I've absolutely no experience and this is my first time studying online. So please, guys, go to the polls and give us your feedback. And it's a nice opportunity to find out other people who are joining the program and what their experience of studying online is. So thank you very much for that, guys. We're going to move on to your experience with students, with faculty, what you've learned on the program, etc., Milka. First of all, we have this lovely quote from Joaquin Angles. He's a member of our faculty. He focuses on change management and also has worked for the US Navy for 11 years as a change management consultant. I believe that online students at Roehampton are inspiring because they're committed to learning and changing the world they live in. And what is your experience with the faculty members on the course, Milka? Where have they come from so far in your journey?
I must say I've had great faculty members, and it's right from the beginning. I think from the introduction of my learning, the first module, I had a great faculty member, and strange enough, I'm going to my fifth module, but all the three faculty members I've had so far, I think are from Greece, and one is from the U.S. So fantastic.
Just a chance, fantastic. I know we have a program director, Kostas, who many of you may will meet if you join the new student welcome. He greets all of our students, and then we generally have faculty from around the world. How do you contact your faculty, Milka, if you need to speak to them? And do they send you updates about your work?
Yeah, it's pretty easy, and I must say that is one of the things that I enjoy most about learning online. I mean, once you start a module, you get introduced to your faculty member. You have to go into the classroom. In the classroom, there's two different ways you can contact a faculty member, through either private messaging or get into the classroom setting where you can send them a message, or we have an area where you can go and overall in the shared activity module, where you can also get in touch with your faculty member, or there's also another tab where you can contact faculty member, where everybody can share and you can see what he responds to. So it's pretty easy, and responses from the faculty members are quite prompt.
Well, that's very good. I mean, we're studying online, and we all need to be organized and prepared, and so it's very important that we get we get quick responses to all the work that we put so many hard hours into. We're going to talk a bit about the students that you've met on the course, the program itself and how it's designed, and a bit about some of the collaborative aspects of the course. There is a difference between a campus education and studying online in terms of the learning model, as well as just the general platform. I have here, things that we know that you've looked at on your course. You would have covered strategy and leadership and stakeholder management. What kind of other students have you met in the classroom discussing these issues?
In fact, I must say, the classroom has been the most engaging part for me. We have a section where we call shared activity. That's where you collaborate with fellow students. And the students I've met so far, I've met different students in different modules, so you don't get to meet the same student in each module. But that is what is exciting about it, because, not everybody is necessarily doing an MBA. Some are doing, something to do with HR. Some are on, doing something to do with project management. And these are leaders, they are business owners. I mean, it's a wealth of knowledge in the classroom. So these are the kind of classmates that you get.
Well, thank you for that, Milka. Really, at Roehampton, the first module that you take is Learning and Leading in a Dynamic Era, and that's a module that's shared by a few programs, what we call a core module. And what Milka talked about earlier is shared activities. Shared activities constitute for 20% of your grade, and then a final module project is 80%. And the reason why we give you graded work, shared activities, is we want you to develop an academic idea and pass it around the world to different people with different experiences, and watch that idea grow, but also learn off the experience of other working professionals on the course. And that's really what's the most important thing about our course, is it's that we breed practitioners, and Milka really is a practitioner in a market. So that's really, really great. What are the key things on the course that you've really enjoyed? And what skills are you taking from the course and applying at Emirates, Milka?
I think from each module I'm taking something. Leading and learning in a dynamic era, I thought I was a great leader. But, taking from that, I took a lot, because especially working in an environment like I work in the UAE, working for an airline like Emirates, it's diversity. So that was a critical module for me. It's made me a better leader. I shared those tips with my peers. And then, we moved on to the financial and performance management. Makes you better in terms of managing your personal finance, business, and for those who are entrepreneurs, it's great. I mean, each module has brought something for me, and I think I've become much richer, in terms of how I lead my team in terms of, what I bring into the company. And that's been great. Yeah.
I think it's nice what you touched upon there. Prospective students are shopping around looking for different courses, and what I think is one of the nicer things about our course is as you mentioned it earlier, that entrepreneurialism, that innovation, that there's options to look at maybe how you can apply these to your own business or future business ideas, as well as the practical application for applying it to your organization that you work for. So certainly a lot of ways that you could apply the skills, and I'm sure, Milka, as you grow through the program with the next 4 modules and the dissertation, that you're only going to take more and more into your working life. Thank you very much. We have a slide here called InspireNet. We like to really advertise how large our online community of students is, and we have a kind of social media-esque platform in there called InspireNet. Can you describe what InspireNet is and how you may use it?
InspireNet is it is a platform where all students can get in, and you can share ideas. People post blogs. You can respond. You can read. You get yourself enlightened. You can post ideas that you want, related to a module or something that you read, and it's a great platform that is there for all students, irrespective of which course you're taking.
And that's it. I mean, you can enter your class in there and continue discussion. So that's a really nice part of what you get access to when you become a student at Roehampton. We have some questions flooding in already, Milka. A lot of them are asking, how do you do it? How do you study online? And we're going to go into a bit more detail about that right now with these slides. Are very simple. How do you study online? And not just how you balance your time, which we'll discuss later, but how easy is it for you to navigate generally through the online learning platform in the classroom that you can see here on the screen?
Right. I mean, as I said before, I never did online courses, but it is pretty easy, very, very easy. As you see, in each module, you have 6 units. And in each unit, you need to get in, and you have a shared activity, and at the end of the unit, you have a submission, which we call it an individual assignment that you need to submit. Yeah, and the information, the details are in there on what needs to be done. So once you get into your unit, your reading materials are there. You can access the library. I mean, it's pretty simple. If you look even at the screen right there, you've got a place where you can share documents. You have a place where you can send messages, and then you get into your shared activity. To navigate is very easy. I mean, if I can do it, I believe anybody can do it, really.
And as you said, the left bar is pretty self-explanatory. You can contact your faculty member in there as well. How often do you access the online classroom, Milka? Now, you're in Module 4, so how often?
For me, I make a point of getting into the classroom at least every day. And the reason for that, when I began, it had to become a habit, In time, I learned, you don't have to be in classroom for, a long period of time. It's just about planning. So with time, like every 2 hours, every day I'd get in to just see what my classmates have posted in there, maybe to go have a read at, any of the material that is there. Respond. And I find it's almost addictive, once you get in, and I know I share this with my colleagues, because, we have a platform, we become friends with time, so you're always there. I mean, the only day, of course, you have to give yourself a break is, 1 day in a week on a Friday for us in Dubai is like, a Sunday across the world. So that's time for you and your kids. But if you're not in every day, you can lose track. I find myself losing track, and once you're track, you're not at pace with the rest of the students.
Exactly, and I think that addictive element. It comes really from the collaboration forum. You're posting an idea, you've invested in that idea, and you want to see if your fellow students are also engaging with that idea and want to build and grow on it. So it's quite exciting. Almost like when you make a Facebook post, you want to see if people like what you said. You talked earlier, Milka, about a bit about how you manage your time, and a few questions coming through about that. In terms of a typical week and your kind of the hours that you put in, or the kind of study space that you might create for yourself, how do you do it? I mean, you are a busy mum. How do you balance work, life, and study, and when do you find the time?
As I said, really, when you start, it is not a stretched amount of time. I mean, I work, from 9 to 6:30. I have 3 kids that I have to go home to. You do mom's things. But, once they get into bed, I have those 2 hours to myself that I can sit while I'm having my cup of tea, get into my shared activity, and or get into classroom, post my assignment. This is the time that I use on a daily basis to do that.
Okay, and so do you find that that organization for you is the key?
That 100%. You have to be organized and disciplined, because when you're studying online, you've got your friends, you've got colleagues. Every evening, if somebody wants to go out, but you need to surround yourself with as well people who are doing the same thing, or people who encourage you. You need to have that kind of a network, which I'm fortunate to have in Dubai. I have my very close friend who's doing an MBA as well, so they can understand when you have that time away.
Thank you. And you said earlier you find the time in the evenings, when you put your kids to bed, and you sneak online and you go and look and respond to those posts. So that's really, really nice. We're going to talk about support a bit. Support is the last thing that you might be thinking about when you're a prospective student looking at a course, but I'm sure Milka will testify it's the first thing you think about once you're actually studying and you're on a course. What's your support network like in terms of your family, friends, colleagues, etc.?
I think it is very important for me. First of all, my support network starts from my workplace. I had to engage my peers, my boss, and let them understand, I'm getting into this MBA. Sometimes I may need the time off, a little bit of time off to just go study. And also, when I'm bringing in ideas, when I have something that I need to share with them to make it rich on my shared activity or my assignment, you get that kind of support. And, of course, my family, my kids, that was the hard part. Get them used to mommy studying, that they need to give you that time. And your friends, you need to surround yourself with a circle of friends who understand and who, can engage you in something similar. And, of course, your partner. That is important. They can help each other, around the house as family. It's very important.
And we have here a lovely picture of John Tricker. He's our student support specialist. He's a real person, so if you call up a student support, it's quite likely that you might speak to John. And you'll also see him in our new student welcome when you join the program. In terms of the support services, we have our student support specialists. We have our enrollment advisors that many of you will be discussing issues with currently. We have our online faculty as well, obviously our library, and we do have IT support. Have you used any of the support services, Milka, so far? I mean, obviously the enrollment advisor.
Yes, I have, of course. I mean, the enrollment advisor, just to maybe just clarify for the students, for the sake of everybody listening in.
Of course.
I think this is the most important person, if you're planning to get into online learning with University of Roehampton. I mean, I had a great enrollment advisor. This is the person who guides you during your application. Make sure that your application is strong enough for the board. And once that approved, she guides you through payment, through InspireNet. And I must say it was very hard for me to let her go. She was excellent. And once you get in, they follow up with you and make sure that you're comfortable with the whole online setting. So for somebody new like myself, I think she was the most critical person in making you really comfortable with the online concept. And then after that, you have your student support. The student support is when you're having any issues related to the reading material, is it, the web, sometimes you have issues, with the connection or getting into your book, your ebook. They're the ones that you speak to. You have your IT support as well. And you have your faculty member as well. Faculty member also provides you any information. So if you don't know who to go to, they're pretty good at that. If they need to direct you to IT or student support, they're there to assist with that.
Exactly, we certainly are. The next thing I'd like to slightly touch upon is that many of our students nowadays, they want to self-serve. They want to go on there and find out the information for themselves. And also we have some lovely preparation tools at the University of Roehampton Online. We have the Student Readiness Orientation, which is a facilitated 2-week classroom that actually mirrors the online environment. We have the prospective website where you can go and look at the courses and make an informed choice. We have the Writing Centre, which has tutored support and paper reviews. And we have the online library, obviously, which is a one-stop shop for all your resources. And webinars, preparation and thought leadership by our faculty and students. And we have the Centre for Student Success, which again is one place where you can go and get all the answers, module calendars, and etc. for the program. What is your experience with some of these support tools, Milka?
Actually, they've been great. Our library and, like you say, as the webinars, for example, you also have those with your faculty members, by the way. In each module, at the beginning of the module or at the beginning of a unit, you can have an interactive session with your faculty member. So it's not just that, you don't see, you don't talk. This also happens. So this is very important for people who want to know, you have a human being on the other side. Yeah. So it's great. And the library, as I said, it's very interactive, but obviously you're encouraged to get out there, look out for materials from other areas other than the online library.
And yes, what Milka was alluding to there is synchronous sessions that we have in our modules, which are planned for week 6 and week 12, just to gauge where students are in the middle, and so not week 12, week 10, where they are with their final module project. So it's a nice opportunity, as Milka says, to kind of have a bit of a face-to-face, a human element of studying online. Thank you very much, Milka. You've had a crash course through your experience. The students you've met, the faculty you've met. And how you've managed your time being the super busy professional woman that you are. We love questions though, Milka, and we've got a few questions to ask you today before we let you go. Hugo's been answering questions in the back end and also filtering some of the more pertinent questions through so we can ask you. We've touched upon a few things already, but really people are quite astounded on how you juggle the 3 children and work at the same time. Milka, a question here. What adjustments to your daily life did you find were necessary in order to get the most out of the program? Were these things you thought about before?
Really, they're not things that I really thought about. I didn't know it would take, not too much, but it takes your time. I thought it was flexible, but at the same time, I wasn't disciplined enough. And, sometimes I'd find myself rushing on a Wednesday, when my assignment is due or my shared activity is due, I'm doing everything last minute. So it needed me to adjust a little bit, and what was most difficult is to get, my kids into a routine and myself as well into a routine where I can get everything, organized to meet those deadlines. So, you have to come up with a timetable or plan. Everybody can do that for themselves or what works best for them. So, yes, it was not easy, but, with time, you get assisting to do that.
And so, what advice would you give someone, it's another question, wanting to take similar studies whose schedule, like yours, is already full with a high-intensity job role?
What I'd advise them is to, first of all, they need to I mean, is it really something that you want to do? If you have the motivation to do it, if it's a goal that you have a goal for that, I think you will find the time, because what? You have the flexibility. For me, I do it, in the evening. I mean, there's some people who are maybe business owners. You can do it at your own time. Some people can do it in the morning. It really depends. Even on your lunch break, you can take your laptop, do it anywhere, So it's just a matter of discipline and just plan your time. That's my advice to them.
We have a question here. Did you already work at Emirates prior to taking your MBA, and how did you? How does it affect your work?
Yes, I worked for Emirates prior to my MBA, as I said, and right now it's made me more confident. I have a better understanding of a lot of things. As I said, some of the things really exposed me, like financial and performance management. Yes, maybe my role is not directed to that. So you have ideas, you implement things at workplace. Currently, I'm going to be moving into managing projects, which I'm looking forward to. Marketing and brand management, something was very new to me. I've introduced things that have made it better for my team and better for my unit. So, I mean, it's rich. It's very rich. And I think as an individual, as a leader, I've become much better, yeah.
We have some, some practical questions, some very straightforward practical questions. Studying time differs from person to person, but about how many hours a week do you put into your study? A question.
I put approximately 2 hours a day. In a week, a 5-day week, at least 10 hours minimum. Really, you should put that. You can put it in less in a day. Maybe you can put 1 hour today. Tomorrow you put in 2.5 hours. But at least 2 hours is important for you to just get into class, see what's going on, see what your faculty member has put in, collaborate with your classmates, get into the library, work on your assignment, By the end of the unit, by your final project, you don't have to rush. Everything is much easier.
Exactly. Another question, Milka. Does student support guide us how to write assignments in an academic way, or are there manuals for this?
Oh, I've got to tell you, I didn't know about academic writing. So I have to tell you, that's why I say my first faculty members, his name was Dr. Vangelis. I think a very patient man. Very patient man. And about academic writing, we all think we write so great, but all that is not academic writing. So he takes you through that process, and that module is so rich. You're taught how to write academic writing. There's so many tips that you get there, as well as, even reading. You'd think, you've got 6 books or 6 books in each unit that you need to read. You don't have to get in there and read the whole book. He gave us tips on how to read, how to get into the library and actually scan and read and get your material and put it in and get your academic writing. So you get all that from your first module, and great faculty members who will take you through that, and great tips that you get as well with that. And, they give you, something like Grammarly, something to, if you have to correct your writing. All these things are available to the students, at least.
And that's it. And, student support are always happy to guide you into the right direction, to the writing center to get a paper review. Those that are starting on the next intake will be invited to an academic writing webinar as well, where our writing center tutor will actually go through some of those more important points in terms of how to structure an argument, how to cite and reference. What's really important to know is that not all of us entering onto these programs have come straight from university. These online programs are often more for working professionals with more experience, just like Milka is. And so sometimes we have to dust off the book somewhat because we haven't studied for quite a while, and we just have to get back into study mode. So thank you for that Milka. The ultimate question, I think, how is it that you're able to balance the demands of a job, a mother, studying? How does the Roehampton program support this? How do you juggle it all? Is there like a one key secret to your success?
The key secret, of course, is first of all, you need to get your kids to understand. I mean, I have pretty young kids. Maybe it's easier. I have a 9-year-old, a 7-year-old, and a 4-year-old. So in the beginning, it was a little hard for me to, get my me time. But with time, they now know, they understand, okay, it's mommy's time from this time to X number of time. And I plan myself as well, in terms of, from work to home to the kids. Of course, give them their quality time and give myself my time to do this. I think what should motivate everybody, just something I need to just point out is, if you have that personal motivation, this is for you. I think everything else is going to fall into place. This is about you getting yourself better, something you're giving back to yourself. So that's how I take it, and everything else more or less falls into place. Yeah, it's a bit of a juggle. It's not easy, but if you don't have the discipline, it can get difficult.
I always say it's the equivalent of, maybe running a marathon or climbing a mountain. It's certainly a great achievement that really, motivates you, but also it's a challenge, and nothing comes easy. So really well articulated, Milka there. So thank you for your questions. We can't answer all of them. We'll be here all evening answering your questions, but what we will do is follow up with you guys, with your enrollment advisor, as Milka said, who are more than happy to discuss these questions further for you. So thank you very much for that. Your next steps for anyone who's in their application process, as you all are, is to send your CV in, your academic certificates, your proof of identification to your enrollment advisor, start discussing your options. Then you need to go in and complete your application for the chosen start date, and we'll be having an application webinar coming up before the next start date, so please look out for that. You'll be invited so that you can learn how to craft and develop your personal statement and include your work experience. And then you just sign and return your student agreement, make your payment, and join InspireNet, which is the community. Create your profile and go and do your student preparation material ready for the next intake in March. So very, very simple steps there. Milka, did I hear right that you were referred to the program by a friend? Is that correct?
That's correct, yes. I was referred by a friend.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And can you just go into that a bit more? Because we have a great program. 1 in 5 of our students at Roehampton are referred by a friend, which, we're really, really proud of, and it's just another opportunity to really strengthen networks, both in your home and also on the course. And good referred students are often really great students for us. So can you just go through that experience a bit, Milka, for our audience today?
Yeah, all right. And I think this is one of the things that made me do this, because, once you get a referral from somebody you trust and somebody you know and somebody who thinks it's a great program, for me, one of the things that attracted me most is because, she's a mom just like me. She's a working mom too. And she could do it. That was a bit interesting to me. And I wanted to find out how she did it. And, I had a chat with her, get a feel of how the modules are, the timelines. Is it achievable? Is it not? So this was what motivated me the most. And, if she could do it, why couldn't I? I mean, we have more or less the same schedule, so that was great. Yeah, that was one of the things that made me go for it, because, you have a variety of other online studies. Yeah, but if you get a referral from somebody who's done it, it always, it makes a big difference. Yeah, that's right.
And I can only assume you'd be happy to refer a friend of yours, and your experience has been positive so far.
Oh yes, I've referred quite a number. At workplace, all I do is go and refer. Everybody actually wants to do it because they see my personality has changed, my leadership skills, I have all these great ideas. So, yeah, I get some referrals, so hopefully I can get those. Yeah.
Yeah, and exactly, and it's also, obviously it's a nice thing, a nice contribution towards your tuition fee, as we said. It's good to plan, it's good to have some common sense financial planning, and, mother of three, working at the same time as studying, why not take advantage of some financial benefits as well. So really well done, Milka, and some nice work there. We're going to come to our final slide in our presentation today. Is to join our student community. Go on Facebook, search LinkedIn for University of Roehampton Online, or go onto Twitter and continue the discussion about making an informed choice here. Milka, I'd like to thank you very, very much for your presence today and for all your advice and your experience. I'd like to ask you just one tip. If you could give one tip for anyone who's looking, maybe standing on the edge, waiting to take the leap and join a master's program at the University of Roehampton Online, what would the one tip be that you'd give them?
Yes, I would like them to take that leap. But before they do that, for everybody who's listening, you have to have a goal and you have to have a motivation, like I said before, to pursue your studies or anything, anything that you want to do, you have to have that motivation. And once you get in, you need to know that this has to have, must have discipline and dedication. Even if it offers you flexibility, if you don't have the discipline, dedication, despite, the great platform that we have at University of Roehampton, at the end of the day, it depends on you as an individual, how much you're willing to put in. So if you're willing to put that, you're motivated, please go for it. It's the best thing that can happen to you. I mean, as long as you have your laptop, you're learning. I think this is the best part of online learning, to be honest. Yeah. It's very satisfying.
I think we're going to have to trademark that, Milka. As long as you've got your laptop, you're learning. So I can't say anything better than that. So thank you very much, Milka. Thank you to our participants today, and we will see you all in class. Good night, good evening, and thank you very much.
Thank you. Best of luck.
Thank you.